David Lozada from Sounds Like NYC. David, thank you so much for coming on the show. How are you?
I'm good. Just feeling a little bit weird. I'm not used to being on this side of the interview.
No, I'm really excited to just have you on. Yeah, and so this is the first time is it the first time in general or in a while where you've been on the other side of the microphone?
Probably the first time in a while. I think the first time we did it was probably back in like summer.
Yeah,
So still not used to it, but I don't know.
for sure. Yeah, because you started the Sounds Like NYC podcast originally in 2018. So what inspired that creation? Where did it start?
I'd say it came from a lot of places. Because of my work, I'm constantly, just moving constantly, and especially like I especially saw this in Union Square where you get all these amazing performers, but because I'm always just running around appointment to appointment, I never got time to like really see, what went in their mind.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, let's start a podcast. Why not?
And you're a real estate agent, you were telling me, right?
Yeah, I am.
So yeah, let's talk about what is that like? Because like real estate is fascinating to me as well. It's a really interesting industry. What is it like being a real estate agent?
Geez, how do I say it without sounding ungrateful? It's an amazing industry to be a part of.
Mhm. You were talking about you're talking about real estate and how you're talking about the daily processes and that, like how, like you said, like seeing how moving into New York City.
Yeah. So like, I don't know, like a lot of people I work with like are either not from here or have just moved here, or like very very few are like are born and raised in New Yorkers just because of the city. A
Mhm.
lot of people just it's a transient city, so a
Yeah.
lot of people don't stay. And I wanted to get out of that mindset, like and explore more of it, but I just never had time because of school or work or what have you. And luckily, I was able to get into an industry where like yeah, you get paid to explore a city,
Yeah.
basically.
And it's amazing because those are two industries you don't always see mixing together because they're two vastly different areas of work. And yeah, I've heard from also other people I've talked to industry, it is a lot of long hours. It's, sometimes it's a lot of long hours. You're dealing with a lot of different people and properties. But that's a great point, like a great way to look at it, where you're getting to explore the boroughs and the cities, and you're getting to see all these different people moving into supposedly like a brand new city. So many people dream their whole lives of coming to New York.
Yeah, man. It's like I always tell everybody who like I have on my podcast, like what you guys are doing, I would never have like the audacity to do something like that. Just like uproot yourself entirely, move to a city like it's insanely hard to like
Yeah.
live and just do it. Like so props to everybody who like does it. I mean, it's crazy.
No, it is. I can't imagine moving like cross country and doing it now. I mean, it'd be a dream to do that. Like I would always love to see California and LA, but yeah, I was born and raised here in Staten Island, so like I'm already here.
Right.
Yeah, moving let's say from Ohio or Wisconsin, like yeah, you're uprooting it and coming to a place like New
Completely
York.
different culture too. It's like
Oh yeah,
culture's insanely different.
and it is very expensive here, but it's also Empire State of Mind. Like you make it here, make it anywhere
Opportunities, man.
for sure. So how long ago did you get started in real estate?
Um, Probably roughly around the same time I made the podcast. Honestly,
Oh, for real?
yeah. So I had this idea for the podcast like probably back in like November of 2017. Didn't really do it just because like I was trying to get like just all the logistics
Yeah.
planned and stuff like that. Like, where are we gonna do it? Like, how are we gonna do it? Luckily enough, like I was able to be a part of a company that gave us like a WeWork type thing.
Oh, okay, like a space.
Yeah. So it's sort of like just like
Yeah. So
just
let's talk
happened.
about that. So Sounds Like NYC. Where is Sounds Like NYC based out of, and where do you record?
Currently we're based out of Brooklyn. We record in our Williamsburg office, like a shared workspace.
Nice. Are you
Yeah.
saying like a WeWork space?
Yeah, it's like a green desk space.
I
So,
got you. So you started that in 2018. You started interviewing artists, and it was weekly, bi-weekly. What do you guys do?
I mean, that was sort of the issue that I had previously before Daniel came on,
Mhm.
like my co-host. Because of my work and because of just being completely tired like all the time.
Yeah.
I there was no sort of way for me to do it consistently because I have to like book the artist and then record and then edit and then promote while also doing my whole other business. So luckily enough, I was able to get sort of like rope in my co-host after he came back from Japan, and yeah, it's been weekly ever since.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. How do you find a balance between your professional career and job and your creative pursuits? And what are the biggest difficulties you faced?
I'm still trying to find a balance, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
It's
daunting
tough.
sometimes.
Yeah, no, I mean, but it's also like, what is balance? You know what I mean? Like every person's version of it is sort of like different.
True.
Like work-life balance. Like, okay, I could have this much life, but like this much work, and that's balance to me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like just more work, less life. That's balance to me.
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to find like the correct way where like I give time for everybody, but man, it's tough.
No, it is tough, especially if like you want to navigate mental and physical health, relationships. And like you said, even when it comes to the podcast, Sounds Like NYC, you're scouting talent, you're recording, you're editing, you're managing, you're trying to promote. It's like you have your job, you're in real estate, and then also you're doing Sounds Like NYC, and then you add like 4 micro jobs underneath it. So it's like it's daunting to find a balance sometimes. And like I agree with what you said. I think it is based on the individual, and it's an ever evolving process. It's not black or white.
Yeah.
It's like it's not linear.
Yeah, I mean, luckily for me, like I think what makes it work is like I'm just a workaholic.
Yeah.
Like I honestly I love days where I wake up before the sun comes out and like leave when it's like dark outside and like nobody outside. Like that's when I found like, okay, cool, this is a productive day.
That's cool. Some people are the antithesis of that.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that whole? Feel like a lot of people in our age group, our generation, and even the prior generation too, they're talking about that whole grind mindset, like how some people love it, but also some people feel that it's very harmful and that has to change. What do you think about the grind mindset? The
I don't
nonstop
know. Yeah.
grind.
I mean, right now I feel like more of like the whole like narrative about it's just a meme. Honestly, it's become a meme of itself. Like I don't like to say like, oh yeah, also grind all the time, but like I'm
Yeah.
actively doing it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm actively like, okay, listen, I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
go to the gym, do my whatever, like prep for the day, work from like I don't know, like 8 to 6 if I'm lucky. And then after that, I do, record interviews and then I edit and then I promote stuff and then we're thinking about new ideas. It's crazy.
Yeah. And that, yeah, so you know what? Even like the passion part of it. It's like sometimes if you're loving what you're doing, it's the
Yeah.
passion. Like, yeah, you're putting in huge amounts of hours, but like sometimes it just goes by and it feels fun.
Yeah,
You
I
get
mean,
high
listen,
off
yeah,
it.
like people have fun.
Yeah, it's
and,
not a
like-
grind.
Like people have fun playing video games, right?
Yeah.
And so if someone were to tell like, hey, listen, bro, you're playing video games for like 18 hours a day, right? Like you're doing too much.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but I love to do it. So like, what's the issue?
Exactly. If you're passionate about it, like, why not? Who cares?
Exactly.
No, for sure. So most recently, Sounds Like NYC, you've been putting out episodes and content like almost every day. I've been seeing it with new artists, but also now you're coming up on your first live showcase installment. So let's talk about the genesis of that and how that came into fruition.
Oh man, that was it was a lot of happy coincidences that happened and led us to do that. Thankfully, so I think we did it like 2 weeks ago or something. Like it was the first one, and we're actively trying to do more and more. My goal is to try to do one like once a week.
That'd be so sick.
Yeah, but you know like how much fucking work that is, right?
Oh yeah.
It's like trying to book. The first part is like
It is
trying
a
to book the
full-time
place.
job.
Yeah, trying to book the place, and then trying to find the correct artist, and then trying to promote that, and then trying to make sure that everything at the actual show works smoothly. It's nuts. So luckily enough, we were able to. We actually recorded an interview with a specific person who had connections to like a whatever, like what's it called, like a venue.
Mhm.
And she was like, "Hey, listen, if you guys want to do this, just let me know, and we'll let you do it. Like, just go ahead."
And this is a venue in Brooklyn?
Yeah. So it's Mika in
Mika.
Bushwick.
Oh, cool. Okay, so let's talk about this upcoming show. I'm sorry if the date is wrong. October 28th, is it happening?
We're playing for October 26th.
October 26th,
Yeah.
okay.
So we're doing like Tuesday shows, but they liked the performance for the first one that we did like a month ago,
Yeah.
and they're gonna give us like weekend. Knock on wood.
So yeah, let's talk about the details for this
Yeah.
upcoming 26th show. Who is performing and how many artists?
So we're gonna cap it at like probably 3 artists, just because we saw that like it wasn't long. It wasn't like I thought like at 3 artists like for like 3 hours is gonna be like too much time for like each artist.
Yeah.
But it's trying to be like the perfect balance. Just because of the setup we have to do and like give a chance for these artists to actually like showcase like what they can really do.
Yeah.
So we're gonna cap it at 3. Right now we're still working on like the specifics. We have like 2 artists that are confirmed for now. I just don't like saying things before they happen because then
No,
usually they
for
don't
sure.
happen.
No, yeah. Only share as much as you want. You know, it's fascinating to hear about. It's really exciting. So now that you're getting into also running shows and live events, what have you found are the differences between managing and running a podcast and managing and running live shows?
So to like my co-host would probably say like I'm a bit of a micromanager. So I like the fact that I can like with the podcast like I control everything, right? You can't do that with a live event.
That's
Like
true. A
there's
lot
just
of variables.
so many like factors like just in it, and it's just like it's tough. But it's sort of like I want to see like okay, listen, like you can't control things you can't control. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Just work around it, and you know like how smart am I really to like work around it? Like just to, like to challenge me, I guess.
Yeah. But even like the more events you run, it'll probably become more exciting, and you'll even get more of a handle on it because then it is exciting because that like how that variable. It's not like a podcast or something else. Like the spontaneity and randomness comes into play.
Yeah, and it's sort of like I don't know. I'm really really hard on myself, like just constantly. So I'm always thinking like, listen, this shit was like bad, like not on the artist, like on me. Like, listen, I managed it horribly.
Oh, so you think so you say you put that pressure on your shoulders first all the time?
Yeah.
Why do you think? I feel like that's a lot with a lot of creative types. Why do you feel that is?
Well, as a creative, right, you're always trying to put out your thoughts, and hopefully that connects to other people, and you know makes more thoughts, and just like a cycle type of thing.
Yeah.
So, like for me, I'm always trying to say, like, okay, listen, like, how can I make my thoughts as clear as possible to these people, so like they actually understand what's going on, and trying to find like the perfect balance of like how to do it is it's just insane. It's tough.
No, you're right. Going back to that main point, yeah, balance. It is. It's hard to find it, especially, you know, or navigating our 20s too. It's
Yeah.
like, it is. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean, I'm grateful. Like, I started doing this like now because like imagine if I was like fucking like 35 with kids trying to like balance this whole thing, it'd be nuts.
It's hard, but I'm realizing too. It's like the journey is everything. It doesn't matter. Like there's no timetable.
No, I mean,
Society
listen,
puts that timetable
exactly.
on us.
Yeah, yeah. I
And it's
mean,
kind
like,
of bullshit. It
yeah.
puts like so much stress and anxiety. It's like you could be chasing shit at 40, 50, 60. Who cares?
No, yeah, I'm just saying.
I
Like,
know what you're talking
yeah, it's
about.
just fucking. It'd be way tougher. Like,
It is
trying to,
so
like,
tougher. Yeah.
Listen, like I'm basically building like 2 companies like off like my shoulders, like out of nothing.
Do you get more than 7 hours of sleep a night?
That depends. Like it's so the way I work is like I definitely get like anywhere from like maybe like 5 hours, like 6 hours of sleep, give or take on a regular day. But sometimes like on the like maybe once a month, I just sleep the entire fucking day.
No, yeah, you gotta make up.
Just like rejuvenate.
Yeah, you gotta
myself.
rejuvenate.
But listen, like I hate it, like because I'm the type of person like it's sort of like a centrifuge type of thing. Like as soon as like there's like a little nick and I stop for a minute, it's just like easy for me, just like oh, so this is what relaxing feels like.
Yeah.
Oh shit, this feels nice.
Yeah.
And then you just like stop getting things done. I just hate that feeling of like not accomplishing anything a day.
I feel what you're talking about because when I am slacking, I feel really guilty. You feel it's like you could be doing a lot more. Like you know that you slacked off, and this day could have been used for something else.
Right.
And like sometimes you feel like a piece of shit. Or I have. It's like, come on, dude. All right,
Always.
tomorrow's a new day, but it's
Always.
like you kind of fucked up.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel that a lot.
No,
Sometimes.
yeah. I mean, listen, you can't be too hard on yourself, but like also you have to like, you know, sort of like take 2 steps back and like listen, like okay, listen, like I messed up today. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I had this list of things that I need to check off. I only checked off 2 of those things. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I need to reassess. Okay, so then tomorrow's gonna be better because XYZ. Now I have this, you know, planned out, and I can do everything.
Yeah. So let's talk about some recent guests on Sounds Like NYC. Recently, we've had artists like Erica Enriquez, Avi Ryder, Navita Med, Christine Jang. So in terms of all the interviews you've done so far, you guys are up to 107 episodes on all platforms.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What is your favorite part about interviewing people?
So we were talking about this a little bit in the car, but so, and I think it's also good why I have like co-hosts like Daniel. So he is the type of person who's like super extroverted, like loves talking to people. Like would generally just like you know walk into a bar, just like talk to people just because he wants to.
No, he's very extroverted.
Yeah. Like I'm not. I'm completely.
But you
opposite.
seem like you are.
So the thing is like.
You do give off that vibe. You do.
Yeah. So like I'm definitely I would say both, right? But because it comes back to the same thing, because I'm so in my head, I'm like, okay, like how's this going to like actually like benefit me? Like in pride is like also a very like thing that like I focus on. Like I don't want to be like, oh shit, my ego type thing. Oh shit, oh you don't want to talk to me? Oh, my bad.
Oh no, yeah.
But
A lot of people think about
yeah,
that.
yeah. So it's good that I have this podcast because it lets me meet a lot more people that I generally would never have met.
Yeah, you were telling me that. It's amazing, like, because then you get inspired by the people you meet. Either if it's just for like one show, or then it blossoms into
Mhm.
a professional relationship. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
you get inspired by that.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
That dynamic.
yeah, we've had people on like people that are still in college. Like we had this one girl on Sonida who's like doing some amazing stuff with like plugins. Like so it basically kind of like put something inside your brain.
Oh,
It's
shit.
like a MIDI controlled thing. So like anything that
Really?
you're thinking,
Like an
like
AI chip.
yeah. So you think the music and it comes out.
That would be so clutch. You see, I would have had so many more songs done.
Like I
And
want
they
to
don't
fucking
escape
try.
you.
I want to put something in my head and
Yeah,
see
let me
what
plug in my
happens.
fucking
Yeah,
brain to a MIDI
exactly.
keyboard, and it goes right into my voice memos, or it goes into like GarageBand on my
Yeah,
phone,
yeah.
and I'll get way more shit done.
Yeah, so it's just like, listen, like you're fucking like you're really young and you're doing something
Yeah.
like this. Like, fuck, like what am I doing? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just got to push myself even harder. I mean, I can't fucking let you beat me.
No, yeah. I know what you mean. So,
yeah.
so you have so you and Daniel are co-hosting Sounds Like NYC. So, would you feel it's like? Have you ever been in bands or like stuff like that? Were you ever in high school, anything like that?
I was in a couple bad bands, like
Bad bands?
terrible bands.
What'd you play? You were a bass guitarist, singer,
Guitars mainly.
guitars.
Yeah.
So even like you have a co-host on your podcast. Would you feel that like when you work with different hosts, is it like being in a band? 'Cause you got two people,
Yeah,
personalities.
all the same headaches that you
you're
would in a band.
performing.
Sort of the same headaches. Like, I don't want to talk bad about like. But
Oh,
the
no,
first,
you're
you
not. I
know,
just meant, like-
I don't care. Like he's not gonna listen to us. So the first host I ever
No,
had.
you don't have to. I just mean like, isn't
I
it
don't care.
cool working with people like bands?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's like being a band.
Yeah, you know, like it like the camaraderie, definitely.
Yeah.
But it's also like, you know, like listen, we have to do things on time. Like, why aren't we doing them?
I got you.
And then it's just like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why am I doing this with you? Let me do it by myself.
It goes with working with anyone with their
Yeah.
things. So even going back to bands, so you play guitar. So when did you start playing guitar?
Probably when I was 15, I bought my first guitar. I used to be the kid who like sold like candies and like sodas in like high school.
Yeah, that's why I used to
Yeah.
sell Coke.
yeah.
I flipped a couple of sneakers and buying and
Yeah,
selling kicks NYC. Not, didn't go very far with
Yeah.
it, but like I sold a pair of foam positives. I didn't know what I was doing. But I was 15. We had to meet up at the mall.
Right.
Both our fucking
Yeah.
both our moms were there because we were like 14. It was a little sketch, but it was like, yo, all right, I got
Yeah.
some foam positives. Out of it.
Yeah, so my parents
know
are
what I
definitely
was
the type
doing.
of people who are like, listen, like we're not gonna give you any money. Like you want to buy this car, like fucking go get your guitar.
Work
We're not
for
gonna
it,
get it. Yeah. It's like, all right, cool. Listen, like give me $20 and I'll see what I could do.
Yeah.
So I used to go like walk like 10 minutes or something to the CVS or something, get like a fucking like two 12 packs of like Coke cans or like Sprite cans or whatever, and just like push it through like the metal detector without them noticing anything. Like,
Yeah.
So whatever.
Yeah.
And then I would just like sell them, like just sell the shit out of them. And like I did that for like 3 years. And like after the first year, I bought my first guitar. After like the middle of like second year doing that, like I bought my second guitar, and that's sort of like how I got into playing music. And I don't play anymore.
Yeah.
Though.
How come you don't play anymore?
Oh, because I suck.
Why do you say that? We all suck.
No. Well, the thing was like not technically. Like technically, I was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like but the issue with me was like I couldn't for the life of me like translate what was in my head onto like the guitar.
Mhm.
So with something like that, like I don't really think that you can teach. You can't learn. I mean, so like I just did not have that innate ability to do. So I was like, listen, like there's two things I could do. I could be like a wedding band, which doesn't sound really fun for me
Mhm.
personally, or I could just like see what my strengths actually are and go to that. I mean, like why focus on your weaknesses when you just like double down on your strengths type of thing.
That is a great point. Yeah, that's a great point. And you had that intuition to just
Yeah.
move forward. And now
Yeah.
you found something that you're grinding at, numerous things,
Mhm.
and moving forward with that.
I mean, listen, like realistically, New York City has enough musicians. Like honestly, like if there's no more musicians, like we'd still be good.
Yeah.
Like we need more audience members, and like I'm okay with being that part.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
No, it's a great point. So you were born. So were you born and raised in Brooklyn? Lived there your whole life?
Like Brooklyn, Queens.
Gotcha. So how would you feel in your creative pursuits that your upbringing in New York City has inspired that? Would you feel you'd be the same podcast host or real estate agent if you were living in a different place?
That's a good question. I feel like if I was like in a rural town, I'd probably be able to meet a lot more people. Like just through like because there's not that many people anyways.
Yeah.
So like I'm not sure if I would really do it because I wouldn't have that same like. Listen, like there's just so many people. How am I gonna meet everybody? Like how am I gonna like have time to meet everybody? Sort of like mindset. So I'm not sure if I'd be doing that. I'd definitely be trying to push myself to do something like entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
But probably not the podcast. Probably like something else.
That's the one thing I do like about living in New York City. It's like it is so vast. You're always meeting new people, always in new situations, and if you allow it to not be boring, it won't ever be boring.
Exactly.
Because there's so much shit going on. That's like kind of like the exciting thing about it. You could always like bounce around and meet new people, and it's like that's what's so thrilling to me. It's like
definitely.
especially once I'm off Staten Island too. It's like Staten Island's fun too. It's like it is what it is. But you go to like different boroughs, and do different things. Listen, I get it. Yeah, this is like the first
Staten
time.
Island is fun. Okay,
It is what it is.
Sure.
No,
I mean,
I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. It's a unique place.
I mean, there's probably like a couple things like I don't know about it. I mean,
I like getting off the island too because like when I go to Brooklyn or Manhattan, like even like because I work in Manhattan and Brooklyn a lot, yeah, it's different. It's more lively because like Staten Island's more suburban.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I agree. This is the first time you're here in a while, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Taking the ferry.
Jesus Christ, man.
There's not a lot out here. Yeah. There's no reason.
Listen, like
for
for me, like sort of like my whole shtick is just making fun of anybody who's like outside of New York City. Staten Island happens to be like
we're practically Jersey. I get it.
Pretty much. I mean, you got 3 bridges to Jersey and 1 bridge to like New York City.
And we
it's
don't have a
basically
subway.
Jersey. Exactly.
I get it.
Yeah,
It is hilarious.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's fun to just like we can't take it too seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
Who cares?
Yeah,
Have some fun with it.
Yeah, exactly.
But
It's like a little brother. You know what I mean? You can make fun of him, but you still love him.
yeah, exactly. He's there. He's a little annoying, but like he still has to eat down and eat dinner every night. too.
Exactly. Basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It is what it is. Exactly. But moving forward with that, so what do we have in store? So what was I saying? Moving forward with that. Fine, but we'll go back to it. So in terms of your creative pursuits, the podcast, what is next for Sounds Like NYC?
That's a good question. I mean, I always joke around saying this, but I definitely want to be like the sort of like company that like bankrupts other like medias that like are based in New York City, because the reason why, like another reason why I started like Sounds Like NYC and then like made this whole like other thing like Through the Boroughs type thing was like I was tired of New York City being told by people who aren't from New York.
Yeah.
So like for me, I feel like the most interesting part about New York City like isn't fucking Times Square, isn't fucking the pictures of like the fucking Empire State Building, whatever. Like it's the actual people that make it so exciting.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, listen, like again, I've been in the city, like I've lived here my whole life. I took it for granted for a really long time. But like all these people, like starry-eyed people who have just moved into the city, like they fucking like, listen, the city's the fucking best.
They're like it's a huge dream, and I agree with you. I've taken it for granted as well.
Yeah.
I wish I did more exploring in high school, but then once I came home from college, I'm like, dude, like you gotta just be out.
Yeah,
Manhattan
people who
more.
like have been like in my neighborhood for like 2 weeks, like know more about it than I do. Because like I'm just like from point A to point B, like
because they're out there.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a great point, taking it for granted. So let's talk about Through the Boroughs more. So Sounds Like NYC is under the umbrella of Through the Boroughs.
Yeah.
So what is Through the Boroughs?
So Through the Boroughs is a sort of like I don't know what you would call it, like a media company, I guess would be the easiest way to say it. But like it's definitely like a way for us to like talk about the things that New Yorkers like are super passionate about through the eyes of an actual New Yorker.
Yeah.
So, art and culture on Sounds Like NYC, fashion on my fiance's Looks Like NYC podcast. And then like Through the Boroughs is basically just general like New York City stuff.
Yeah.
And then like sprinkle some little real estate too, just because.
Yeah,
I'm a
why
big
not
fan.
put anything in there? Yeah.
Exactly.
So Through the Boroughs also talks about lifestyle, fashion, culture, all that stuff.
Yeah. So definitely in the beginning of the year, we started doing like more like local business shout outs type thing, because coming from Corona, we saw like a lot of like people like close down the shops.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, listen, like this is a small thing we can do, like to show more of like, listen, like again, like more people like me, like who just point A to point B, they don't like explore places, and it'd be cool just to shine a lot of these places. Like, oh shit, it's in my neighborhood.
Yeah, and that's amazing. You're giving back to the community, helping local community, like vendors and local businesses. Yeah, it's a great thing to do. It's amazing.
Yeah. So we'll see where that goes.
So Through the Boroughs, so you mentioned, I believe, a couple podcasts. So under the Through the Boroughs umbrella, there's a couple of podcasts.
Yeah, so it sounds like NYC and Looks Like NYC, which is like based on like fashion and beauty, like the beauty scene in New York City.
Yeah.
Which we thought was pretty interesting too. I'm also gonna start like something else maybe in the future. I'm not sure when. And again, I can't say because like if I say it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
More like real estate focused stuff because like that's just what I live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, it's interesting to me. I'm pretty sure it's like interesting to a couple people. It's like, oh shit, that's interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is that like stuff like that. So gonna do some stuff coming up probably next year.
Yeah.
In terms of that.
No, it sounds awesome. Have you ever dreamed about moving out of the city? Do you see that for yourself in the future?
No.
No.
No. Like my parents moved out to California like a while back. It's probably like again like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And they gave me the option to do it, or I could stay with family here and just try to bear it on my own. I was like, you know what? Like, listen, like I went to visit California and it's not fun.
That is
It's
a big move.
pretty boring over there. And there's just so much I want to accomplish here. I was like, listen, like I can't leave. Like I love the city. Like I've been to other places. I've been to other states. It's just not the same. You can't get the same energy or like the fear, I guess, of like living here. Like just constant, just pushing you to do more stuff. Like you can't get that anywhere else.
And wait, did they move out to Los Angeles or?
They moved out to like a suburb in like Central California.
Yeah, that is a big move. But I love how you just said that because I feel the same way. Like a lot of people I've known, they've talked about, because I went to school for music industry and friends with musicians and producers. And of course, the trifecta, the big three is you have New York City, Los Angeles, and Nashville. And now you can really have a career from anywhere, which I find is amazing. But those three cities are still so attractive and talked about. And so many people have talked about LA people want to go to New York and New York people want to go to LA. Not all, but a good amount I've talked to. And a lot of people have talked to me about moving out to California from here. And a part of me is like, I would definitely like to explore out there, but like I was already born and raised here. I feel like I have so much to accomplish here. Like I owe it to myself, like make it in New York first, or just like now that I'm an adult, like make the most out of it, soak it all in. Like, yeah, it's like it is the ultimate motivator.
Right.
I feel New York City has this like motivation. At least for me, I have not lived on the West Coast, but yeah, it's like even though it's a huge city, it's just like it makes you want to work harder.
And it's also like a privilege. I mean, to be grandfathered into a city like this. Like
I
again,
agree,
like
yeah.
I wouldn't. Like if I was born somewhere else, like, I wouldn't have the guts to do it. Like it's not in me.
And do you think that even especially being born and raised in New York City, it does create a different individual? Like it does. It molds you a certain way.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
No, definitely. I mean, like people who moved here from other places, like we talk to them all the time. We ask them the same question, like how has New York City like made you who you are? And like a lot of times, like listen, like it kicked me in the ass, and it's like I gotta do what I gotta do. Like there is no just laying around for things like come on my lap. Like that doesn't happen. You have to go out and get it.
Yeah, you're right. You can't just wait around. I realize that too because I've procrastinated with a lot of things, and I'm realizing it doesn't go anywhere that way.
Mm-hmm.
So even though your family's moved to California, do you miss them? Do you feel it's rough? Do you feel it's rough being that far away from family?
I mean, definitely, I do miss them, but I think it's better this way. Like we definitely have a better relationship now, than being in the same household. And again, so it's sort of the same thing. We're like trying to find that balance. It's just easier for me. It's like, okay, listen, like twice a year, I'm gonna go over there, spend as much time as I can with them. My focus is just them, and then I come back for the rest of like the 50 weeks or whatever in New York City, just like grinding.
Yeah, coming back. You mean like grinding out the rest of the time in New York City? No, I know what you're saying. So we're gonna finish it off soon, but what are your biggest aspirations moving forward with your creative career? Talked about the podcast aspiration, but yeah, what do you have planned moving forward?
World domination.
World domination.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any other companies you're thinking of that you can share with us besides Through the Boroughs and Sounds Like NYC? What's next?
So we definitely want to do more like food related stuff. So maybe an Eats Like NYC soon.
Ooh,
I think that'd be kind of cool.
That'd be really sick.
Yeah, so that's again, it's probably like middle of next year. I'm saying it right here, middle of next year.
Hell yeah. Well, you're putting it on the table. Yeah, if you can think it may happen.
Word. Yep.
So where can we find you on all socials? Let them know where to find you and your businesses and everything in between.
Yeah, so if you want to find me personally, and look at all the real estate stuff that I do, you can just go to David Lozada NYC, all platforms. For the Sounds Like NYC stuff, that's art and culture in New York City. Just Sounds Like NYC on all platforms, and fashion stuff looks like NYC, and just general New York City Through the Boroughs, BOROS.
Hell yeah! You heard it here first. Make sure you check out and follow David Lozada and his endeavors. Sounds Like NYC on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all lowercase, Sounds Like NYC. They have a weekly podcast. They have over 100 episodes on all the major platforms. Right now, 107 and counting. Sounds Like NYC on Spotify and SoundCloud and Apple Pods, right?
Yeah, we didn't do SoundCloud. Like I don't think like do people like put podcasts on SoundCloud?
Oh, I'm not sure. My bad. I thought it was, but definitely
Yeah.
YouTube. Yeah, I think they do. I guess.
Yeah.
I've seen things on
I
Deezer.
feel
I
like
think.
I feel like
Napster,
with that, I
baby.
think with that thing you got to pay like per like gigabyte or something like that.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think you may need like they have the Pro and Unlimited, but also definitely check out their YouTube. They have the video versions of their podcast, right?
Yep.
On their YouTube, Sounds Like NYC, and also follow the parent account through the Boroughs, like he said, THROUGH, the Boroughs, BOROS.
Yeah.
That was slow. I snailed my way
Yeah.
through that. I should have just said it.
Yeah.
I kind of fucked up almost, but it's all right.
Listen, spelling is hard for me too. I'm a college dropout, so
Yeah, especially you got like the cameras are on you. It's like you're
yeah,
getting
you
the
forget.
adrenaline.
You forget.
But yeah, make sure you check him out. David, thank you so much for coming on the
man,
podcast.
thanks
I
for
really
coming.
appreciate it. Definitely will come on again whenever you want to check it out here because it's a friggin' trek.
Ooh, I'm gonna take a taxi next time.
Yeah. But I'll definitely, no need. Yeah, I could always pick you up from the wherever. Yeah, because it's a fucking trek. But thank you so much
Yeah,
again.
man. Thanks for having me on.
And yeah, Miltrick Media, another episode, and we will see you soon.
Cool.
Hell yeah, that was awesome. How'd it feel?